Okay, picture this. The roar of the crowd in an Olympic stadium. You can feel the pressure, the years of training all boiling down to one single moment. Now, what if I told you that exact same drama, that same intensity, plays out every single day, right behind the screen of every app you use? Well, today, we're diving into this unlikely arena where software testing goes for the gold.
It really does sound like the start of a bad joke, right? But believe it or not, the sweat, the discipline, the incredible pressure of an Olympic final, it has a direct parallel in the tech world. Specifically, with the people who make absolutely sure your favorite apps don't crash and burn.
So let's break this down. On one side, we have our athlete. On the other, the software quality assurance team, the testers. For them, years of training isn't about running on a track. It's about building complex test infrastructure. Their high-stakes competition, that's not the Olympic Games. It's the high-stakes, can't-miss-it software release date. And that pursuit of perfection, well, that's the relentless, all-consuming hunt for zero bugs. All right, let's start at the beginning, with the absolute foundation of any amazing performance, the training. This is all the work that happens long before anyone is watching.
You know, an athlete doesn't just wake up one day and decide to go to the Olympics. They spend years, literally years, in smaller tournaments, honing their skills. It's the exact same thing for a QA team. Their practice arenas are these things called staging environments. And instead of drills, they're preparing thousands of test cases and building incredibly sophisticated automation so they're ready for the main event.
And here's the key takeaway. Success, in either world, is never an accident. It's the direct result of relentless, almost obsessive simulation. An athlete runs the race in their head 1,000 times over. An engineer simulates every single possible way a user might, accidentally or on purpose, break the software. The big day? That's just the final recital.
Now, every competition needs rules. And just like the Olympics has all these different sports, software testing has its own set of distinct disciplines. You could even call them events.
Think about it. You would never judge a swimmer using the rules for a gymnast, right? It's no different in testing. You've got your different events. Functional testing asks the simple question, does this thing actually work? Performance testing asks, okay, but does it work fast, even if 1 million people are using it at once? Security testing asks, can this be hacked? And usability testing asks the all-important question, is this thing actually easy and, intuitive for a real person to use?
It's kind of like being a deck athlete. They can't just be an amazing runner. They have to be great at 10 different things. Same goes for software. Your app could work perfectly, but if it's painfully slow or has a massive security flaw, it's a failure. The real goal is hitting a minimum gold medal level in every single area, because even one weak link can bring the whole project down.
So how do we decide who wins? In the Olympics, it's crystal clear. You've got a timer, a measuring tape, a scoring system. Judges are just applying rules that everyone agreed on beforehand. There's zero room for, I don't know, I kind of feel like they won. It's all about objective data.
And in software, the official rulebook is something called acceptance criteria. These are just the specific black and white conditions for success that everyone agreed on from the start. Stuff like, the login page has to load in under 2 seconds, or the buy button must process the payment every single time.
So the verdict is never a guess. It's not subjective. An athlete either clears that high jump bar or they knock it down. A piece of software either meets its criteria or it doesn't. It's a clear, simple, data-driven pass or fail. End of story.
Okay, let's add another layer of pressure to this whole thing. Because in both of these arenas, it's not just about being good. It's about being good when the clock is ticking and the pressure is on.
The clock is always ticking. A world record sprint doesn't count if you fall started. A perfect fix for a bug is totally useless if it comes a week after the big release date. Success is this delicate, high-speed dance between being fast and being right.
From the second a project kicks off, that race is on. By the midpoint, teams are obsessed with something called CI/CD pipeline optimization, which really is just a super fancy way of saying they're trying to make the automated highway for code run faster. The faster that highway, the quicker they can get to that one immovable finish line, the release date.
But what happens when things go completely off the rails? For an athlete, maybe it's a sudden storm where their gear breaks. For a software team, the crisis is that horrible, sinking feeling when a critical bug shows up on the live app, or a major system suddenly crashes.
The stakes are just as high. So what do you do in that moment of pure crisis? You know, when months, maybe even years of work are on the line, and something totally unexpected just blew up in your face.
The answer to that question is what defines a champion. The real test isn't performing when everything's going perfectly. It's about how you react. It's the ability to diagnose the problem and find a solution incredibly fast, while the pressure is just immense. That is what separates the good from the truly great.
And that brings us to the final act, the moment of truth. This is the culmination of all that training, all that strategy, all that crisis management. Let's talk about the gold medal.
So, what is the gold medal for a software testing team? It's not a piece of metal you can wear around your neck. It's a successful software release, one that goes out to potentially millions of users with zero critical bugs. It's that moment when your app just works seamlessly. No crashes, no glitches. That feeling right there, that's their victory lap.
And you know what? The path to that victory is pretty much the same for both. It all starts with years of disciplined work. It's fueled by a culture of never being satisfied, of always improving. And it's all guided by having the right strategy to focus on what really, truly matters.
The ultimate prize at the end of the day, whether that's a gold medal or a flawless product, is never, ever about luck. It's the direct result of discipline, continuous improvement, and a solid winning strategy.
So the next time you open an app on your phone and it just works, smoothly, perfectly, exactly how you expect it to, just take a second. You might be experiencing the result of someone else's gold medal performance. The unsung champions who trained, who competed, and who won, all just to make your experience flawless.